Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? How is everyone? Dude, are you in my walls? In my head? How did you know I finished my chores for the day? You did your chores? I need to do mine still. I gotta do a few more things. Although I did meet up with like a client today and all that stuff, so... Oh shoot, did I put this in the wrong thing? I did.
Oh no, my money.
Your money? Story settings... I think I put this in the wrong thing. Oh yeah, okay. Give me one sec, guys. I need to make a story post really quick. Your money? Aesthetic, thank you so much for the tier 1, man. Well, technically the laundry is in the machine. I mean, dude, I still think that counts, though. That's like a good feeling to get all that stuff done. Let's do this. Need to do a little Instagram post for today. Well, not need to, I just want to. It's a cool keyboard. I'm excited to build it. Oh, that is the wrong thing. Jesus. Undo. Discard. Let's just take a picture. Oh, did I put video mode? Jesus. Start. Alright, alright. Sorry, you guys are going to see the back of my back here. Good afternoon, everyone. Wait, why does this keep getting posted to my... Oh, there it goes. Did it work this time? Okay, I think it worked this time. Quick question, sound-wise, 60 CU or KC0? Ooh, my hair's a little messy. I personally think you'll enjoy the sound profile of the... if you like brighter sounds, I definitely think the 0 is the better route to go for a brighter sounding keyboard. I think the 60 CU has a slightly deeper overall sound signature only because the bottom is so dense, full of brass and all that stuff, you know? So that is my humble opinion there, but I mean, don't take my word for it. Ooh. Morning, how you doing, Mamba? How many beers did the deer drink? That's a great question. I'm honestly not sure. I'm honestly not sure, guys. How you guys doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing fantastic. Let me turn on some extra lights here. Yeah, I did a quick errand this morning, and then now I'm here, so we're just gonna chill. Although we're looking at something pretty cool today. Ooh. We'll just wait till some people get in and everyone settles in, because even I'm settling in right now. Hello, Alex. 2 days ago, I got 2 Star Wars related tattoos. Kylo Ren mask in a traditional style and Kylo Ren's saber? Wait, that's sick. Where'd you get them done? Like on your leg or your arm or something? I actually just watched Andor the other day, funny enough. Okay, if you guys haven't, by the way, if you guys have watched Andor and you're fully completed, watch Rogue One. I just finished Andor the other day, and I watched Rogue One right after it, and I swear to God, Rogue One felt like a different movie after completing Andor. Like it kind of like, Rogue One was already really, really good, but it flushed out the movie entirely. And what was nice is at the end of Andor, it bleeds right into the movie. Like there's no like weird time gap. So not a spoiler because like obviously if you've watched Rogue One then you know where that starts. But it's pretty nice. Like there's no time gap, which is great. Like I love the fact that it just bleeds right into it and it gives you all the events literally up until then. So fantastic. Honestly, fantastic show. I think Andor Season 2 and even Season 1. But Season 2 is the show of the year for me. Like, 100%. I don't think anything can top Andor at this point here for me. A DrunkDeer board was not on my bingo card. It's actually interesting. We're going to get into the board. I have a few... Like, I'm going to approach this the same way I approached the Ducky keyboard because it is using Hall effect switches. We're also going to take it apart a little bit and then also take a look at maybe swapping out some keycaps. But there's something in this keyboard that I am a huge fan of. So not software related, not switch related. Although the switches I'm interested to try because they're their own switches. They're the key-in switches. But the mounting style in this board is so interesting that it almost makes me want an MX version of this. But we'll see. We'll take a look. Maybe it's not as fun in person, but on paper it looked really cool. I ordered a cream soda from R&D. How would you compare them to Milky Yellows? Oh, they're so different, dude. They are louder, and I would even say a different sound signature. No, this is Hall effect. This is a Hall effect keyboard today, which, if you guys know, little backstory, I kind of did fall down the Hall effect rabbit hole. Not as hard as some people have, you know, in the other space of keyboards, but I'm using primarily only Hall effect stuff to game right now. So that and analog stuff. Anything analog basically has been my go-to for gaming. And
10
for good
months
reason.
LFG, almost a year.
Hi, Six. Thank you so much for the tier 1, man. So I've been really enjoying it. It's been very handy to have software that you can just quickly adjust things per video game. Like, it's nice to have a good suite of software to go along with these keyboards, which is something we're going to take a look at today. This is an interesting one because I haven't actually unboxed this. I was waiting for you guys for this. We'll see. The custom Hall effect scene is huge right now. I would argue that there's tons of options and tons of ways you can do things. I still think it's held back by the fact that every company has their own software. Good and bad, I guess. I think on the bright side of that, like I was doing some cross comparisons and I wrote down some notes. Like, good side of that is it keeps up competition, I suppose. Like, you can look at it from like we don't have one universal piece of software, so you kind of get locked into an ecosystem type thing. But I think on a brighter note, if a company like Wooting, for example, has super solid software, it pushes everyone else to at least do the same, or you're considered not good or better. So I think it does drive some competition, but at the same time, like, it would be nice for people who don't want to invest in a million different things, or if they like one suite of software, that they feel locked in. So I think there's like drawbacks and whatnot. But DrunkDeer is a brand I've been seeing on social media a bunch. They have been doing some interesting things. I've been seeing them all over, actually mainly Instagram. I don't really use TikTok as much. But they seem like they have some really cool stuff. And then when I saw the a75 Ultra, I was kind of, well, okay, I saw the a75 Master, so they have like two different versions of this, like updated versions. The other one looked really cool, but unfortunately, I think FedEx lost that in transit. So we're taking a look at the Ultra today. I totally pick up and ship my Wooting in some Death HE switches if you wanted to test out Wooting and its software. Oh, actually, I have a Wooting keyboard. I've tested a lot of the HE stuff. I've been interested in the scene. Like, it's been fun. It is a bit gamer approved. It definitely leans on the side of being more gamer and not as timeless. But I do think if you can do like the aesthetic right, then it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, I feel like you can still make a sweet looking keyboard and have it be like gamer centric in a lot of ways too. Ooh, I used a different shampoo for my hair, and now my hair feels like all luxurious. It's crazy. It's weird. Yeah, I tried the Wooting. The Wooting's been fun. But we'll take a look at this guy. So DrunkDeer sent this out. This is going to be a sponsored stream because of that. But it's not going to hold me back from saying anything, just like the same thing with the other Hall effect stuff that I've done in the past. For example, my thoughts and criticisms on even the Ducky stuff. But yeah, let's take a look. I hope everyone's been having a good Sunday. It feels like the weather's kind of crazy. Dude, actually, I gotta tell you guys a story. Yesterday, we went out. No, this is my own, but I ran out and I tried a different brand now. I don't like it. Like my hair feels like too luxurious. It's weird. We went out yesterday. I forgot to tell you guys this. So we brought an umbrella because it was raining like crazy. And dude, it's been a long time since I've seen this, but we were out. Thank freaking God we brought the umbrella. We popped it open as it started to drizzle, and then dude, all of a sudden for like only like 2 or 3 minutes, it was like you couldn't even see in front of you. It was raining like crazy, like just water being dumped. Thank goodness we had found like a little piece of shelter. But oh my God, that was crazy. I have not seen that in many, many years. It was wild. The weather's been so weird. We had like a crazy hot day, and then we had like a rainy day, and now we're back to like normal. You need the Guy Special 25-in-1 shampoo? Bro, I took a picture. I put it in Discord to show you guys. I found 5-in-1. Bro, I found a 5-in-1 shampoo. And then it was like shampoo, body wash, beard wash, and face wash. And then I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, can I get this? And I've never seen her more disgusted with me in my entire life. For what reason, I don't know. I thought 5-in-1 was pretty handy. So, just uploaded the tattoos in general discussion. Let's see. But yeah, never ever in my life. Good day, sir. What's up, Remo? How you doing?
Good day, sir. D.
Oh, shit. These are not... Oh, I love the traditional style of the Kylo Ren mask. The sabers are super cool, too. That is a sweet looking tat, bro. Hell yeah, dude. Face, body, hair, and what? Oh, shit. It was face, body, hair, beard. I don't know the last one. Maybe count it conditioner. But it was pretty funny to see that many things go in one shampoo. It's so stupid. All right. Okay, a75 Ultra. So again, let's take a look at their webpage. Let's share screen here. Because I actually think this is a, like I said, a pretty cool looking board. Did you have did you have to mod the Kikik Avalons on the Lamy R2? I don't remember if I did, but I probably would. There's very few switches, very, very few, that I would like not mod. So for example, hi Simon, how you doing? Thanks for the raid. With all those pre-lubricated switches, with all of them, consistency has never been very, very good. So for example, with even like the more HMX boards and all that stuff, like, HMX switches, the HMX switches, I still feel like need some like TLC, you know? I have yet to find a batch of anything that has been 100% consistent. In my opinion, if you're going to build a custom keyboard, I would suggest just putting the extra work in and just making them, you know, solid, you know? Just doing some extra work. Thank you, Javix. I appreciate the prime. What is my favorite input device with design roots in Japanese culture? I don't know. This is a trick question. What is your favorite weeb board? Is this also a trick question? I don't know. What is that? Like anime themed? Anime themed board? I don't think there's been any anime. There was that one Violet Evergarden themed one that I liked. But I don't really think there's been one that's like stood out to me. That like I don't. There hasn't been an anime like I've liked that I've been like, yeah, that's the one for me type thing. Alex is not a weeb. I like anime. I just don't think there's been a keyboard that's really like stood out to me that's been like, yeah, this is the one I want to use. I did try the Code Geass one. I like Code Geass a lot, but I don't think I like buy that just because it's Code Geass. You know what I mean? I don't think that would be a board I'm like, yes, I must buy this right this instant because it's Code Geass. The Rio was cool, but I don't even know what that is. Like the Rio was a board that I've not the anime or gacha game or whatever that is. I've never played it. So like, would I purchase that personally? No, because I don't have like any parallels with that board. The one with the horns, I've watched that anime, but I don't really care for that anime much. The Suse, I wouldn't call... Is that a Weeb board? Isn't that... The Suse a VTuber? The Suse is nice, but again, I buy that just because I like the design of the Suse. Like, the VTuber itself, I don't have any affinity to. Like, I just don't care about it. I don't know, is there any other good ones? Like, other than Violet Evergarden, there's probably none that I personally would probably pick up. Like, there's not really much, so... Alright, back to the keyboard here. If you can make a Weeb board... Truth be told, I personally probably wouldn't make one. Not because I don't think they're cool, only because I feel like that's kind of restrictive. And if I end up not liking said anime, or maybe I just grow out of that particular phase, like I feel like it's a kind of a narrow-minded design in a lot of ways. I'm not trying to be mean, but I think like if I'm going to buy something, it either needs to be like timeless or provide some crazy functionality. Like if I'm, okay, actually, sorry, let's just base it off design. Typically, if I'm buying something design-wise, it has to be timeless. So I don't really love buying things that I feel like are short-term or short-lived. Maybe in the past, but not so much anymore. So I tend to avoid those things. All right, let's share screen here. So again, we're doing the what did I do here? Hold on, did I fuck something up with OBS? Oh, very diplomatic response. I try to like, I'm not made of money, you know? So like when I do purchase something, I try my best to make sure that it's a purchase for the long haul and not just like a quick, I need to buy this right now purchase. So, all right, back to the keyboard though. This is the a75 Ultra from DrunkDeer. They did send this out. This is technically a sponsored stream, but like I said, I'll be completely honest as I normally am. So before we start this, few things. On paper, we'll kind of go through it. I really like the mounting style of this board. I think it's actually kind of novel and really, really sweet. Very, very cool. Some other stuff about the board. It's about 200 US right now. Where is my little... Here it is. It's about $200. They do have like a discount going on right now, which is save 20 bucks for it. It's going to have some of their self-developed switches, which they're saying are better than some of the TTC switches they've used in the past, which they're called their Kien switches. We'll see. I don't really know. We'll take a look. It's inspired by fighter jets, which I'll be honest, I really don't get that vibe. Like maybe you guys will. I just think it has a pretty, neat kind of design. But the main thing for me out of this is I want to see how the switches are. I want to see how this mounting style is. And then I also want to see the software. Now, the software is a big point. I'm going to say this with love. That's probably the most important thing about Hall Effect keyboards. I think a lot of people would agree. If your software sucks, it doesn't matter how good your product is. For Hall Effect stuff, that's really the biggest key point that I feel like brands kind of miss out on sometimes. I have tested a crap ton of HE stuff at this point here. So we'll see how this one here stacks up. So far, with all the love in the world to everything I've tested, nothing really compares to the Wooting software. The Wooting software is by far like the best out of anything in this entire industry of Hall Effect products and analog products. So we shall see. Now, I'm going to be honest, the Wooting isn't my favorite in terms of some other stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't actually use the Wooting though. If you guys want to know, I have a Wooting and I have a bunch of Hall Effect stuff. I still use the Ducky. The Ducky to me felt and sounded the nicest. And the software was good enough. But they are still, yes, what Flick said, they are literally the gold standard in software. They have everything you could potentially want. So I've been really liking it. The Venom's really good too. I would consider the Venom stuff like pretty damn good as well. But Venom also has, like you said too, the community aspect going for it, and there's a lot of compatibility. So I think that's also a fantastic thing. But yeah, let's share screen here. Can you guys see it? Yes, you guys can. Okay. So this is the board here. You can see a pretty out there design. Might not be for everyone, but I do want to try swapping out keycaps today. And then if it wants to load, here it is. Just scroll down. This is the inside of the keyboard. It uses this floating suspension system. Now, this is what has me stuck on this board right now. I'm like, I really want to try this. It has like even a little toggle on the back in which you can swap between a stiff and lighter suspension. Sort of similar to what Asus did with their gaming keyboard, just without the Asus crazy pricing of $600+. Or whatever it is American. I'm not too sure what the American price point of the Asus one was. But holy crap, was the Asus one expensive. I would sort of not really say this is the same as the Nolan. The Nolan was very unique. But this is a pretty interesting mounting system. Alright, and then this is kind of just building the board here, but scroll down a bit more. And then it does have some RT match, competitive mode, extreme mode, so we'll have a bunch of different things to check here. It is using some of the more latest Hall effect sensor chips, which I think for the average person, you might not notice some of this stuff while you play. Great for gamers though. I was reading some feedback about this board too. A lot of people are saying the latency on this board is really, really, really good. It competes with all the rest of the stuff on the market, the high-end stuff, which is good to hear as well. And then just some other stuff. Again, instant switch, we'll take a look at that too, see how well that works. But yeah. A lot of people did also say they really liked the keycaps here, which we'll see. Rapid trigger. We'll go through the software after we take a look at the board though. We'll just pause it here for now. Making some bone broth? Ooh. All right, let's take a look at the board. Again, I've been seeing this everywhere on socials, and I've been kind of wanting to take a look at it, so I'm really happy that we actually get to take a look at this. What is this? Is this like an instruction book? Holy crap, this is gigantic. I mean, I appreciate that. Little quick functionality thing. That's cool. Accessories, I assume, which we'll take a look at here in a bit. Ooh, they sent the silver one. Very nice. I'm also going to measure things like front height and whatnot, because I think that's also important to take a look at. Product warranty. Let's move this over to the side. Are you guys interested in Hall effect, by the way? I know last time we covered some Hall effect stuff, a lot of people said they were interested in it, but just waiting for everything to kind of catch up. Yeah, it's a Hall effect board. Oh, what's a good way to open this? Just tear it. This layout is one of my favorites. Yeah, little thing right now. So I have a few Hall effect boards. Most of them, with the exception of one, are 60% or 65s. I've been itching for something a little bit bigger. I was using the Boog for a little while, but I don't know, there's something about that board where I didn't love. So I ended up not using the Boog as much as I thought I would use it. So this layout might become one of my new favorites. Seems unnecessarily gimmicky if you don't play any kind of shooters. Do you mean Hall effect stuff? Okay, actually, I want to talk about that a little bit. I also thought the same things. I play shooters, but like I don't play competitively. I will say, I do personally like the response, like not even just the response times. I like the customizability, and I like the fact that if I, like on my Hall effect stuff now I've been using for my gaming rig, if I decide to play a different game, I can quickly swap without having to find another keyboard or buy other parts or change out switches. I can just go into the software and change like a whole bunch of things to better suit myself for that game. I've been enjoying it for that sense. Response time's been great. A lot of things about the way this feels while you're playing games, like it's great. I like Hall effect stuff in general. I'm pretty big on it myself right now, just because again, I've been using it a lot. And it's kind of hard for me to go back to a standard mechanical keyboard when I'm playing a video game now. So I'm pretty hard stuck on using Hall effect for gaming. I think it feels really, really good. And just being able to like dial in, like if one day I feel like I'm playing a game and maybe I'm leaning too much into the switch, or if I want to use rapid trigger, it is nice too. So there is use cases. I personally don't think it's like hugely gimmicky per se. I think there's very, very, very apparent use cases. But if you're not really into playing video games, then yeah, I don't see this as being like a super useful board. The only keyboard so far that I've tried, which is Hall Effect, which I would say has been great for just about everything, has been the Ducky. The Ducky felt a little bit more timeless, and then the Ducky also just had a general sound profile and everything that made me feel like comfortable for using it for like an office setting as well. Everything else I've used, including like the Wooting, has been more gamey kind of like vibes and feeling. So if you wouldn't game anything like Age of Empires, I feel like you can still, if you play games and you still want to customize things, I still feel like it. But yeah, if I would say Pepe, like, yes, I do think these are obviously geared towards gamers. But here is the board. I do want to get out my little caliper here, because some of these stats I didn't see on the website. So here we have the back. I don't know if there's a sticker. There's a sticker on this. Let's peel these off. The silver is nice. I still love that there's something new. Yeah, I also appreciate the fact that companies are doing stuff like this. Okay, can't peel this one here off. The back is cool. I actually do like the back of this board. I don't think this is tacky looking. I feel like this is still like, I don't know why the board's so cold right now, because I think my room is really cold. The only tacky piece I think is maybe this. It says like drunk on
that back looks
and
awesome.
whatnot, but
can we see yours?
Huh? But yeah, I actually don't mind the design of this. It's kind of cool. And then there's that switch that you would either push in or pull out for the stiffer or the bouncier mounting style, which I think is really cool. There's push-in feet to get to the screws and whatnot, which is also a nice little thing here. Actually, is this one here adhesive? This one here actually is adhesive. Would have been nice to see two push-on feet. So I'll deliver some immediate criticism there. In terms of like the ano quality, I wouldn't say this is like super up to what I'm used to. Like it is more of like a speckled silver. Kind of maybe hard to tell here. Completely nice. Like I still need to wipe this down, but very, very nice still. It's just not as clear as some of the more high-end anos or coatings.
Sup, Alex?
How you doing, Flat White? And the machining seems pretty decent too. There's no real like crazy edges on this, so I wouldn't really say there's anything to write home about here. Some DrunkDeer branding on the front, which I would have preferred that on the back, personally. And let's actually measure our front height here to the feet. Well, actually, let's just measure this part. About 22, so it is a little higher. If you're going to measure to the little lip on the front, we're looking at, with the feet, yeah, we'd be looking at like 18-ish to the lip. There's a small little lip, not caused by like a cherry lip, but just the keyboard itself. Here's the side profile. Oh, wrong button. Actually, it's a pretty cool looking side profile too. It looks lower than it is, and again, maybe because this little lip on the front. Very cool. I don't mind the side profile of this at all. This is actually quite unique. Definitely stands out from the crowd of gamer stuff. Like I said, we're going to be sort of pseudo taking this apart. There's actually not much to see inside, kind of like what you guys saw in the little breakdown. But the main thing I wanted to do today is just test the software and then also swap out keycaps. Although a lot of people I spoke to said the keycaps were phenomenal on this. I think they're just okay looking. Feeling-wise, they feel really nice, but we'll take some off and then also measure those too. Now, layout-wise, I really like this. I really like the layout of this. This might quickly become something I reach for on video games. Exploded arrows are great for a gaming cube too. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. In my honest opinion, as you can find them without... Yes, I agree with that too. I think this is a great layout for gaming. I play Tarkov a lot. Like, that's been like my main game these days. And I need F keys. So I use the 60% ducky, and I have function bound to things, but sometimes I have to look down on the keyboard and really just like figure out what I'm clicking. Pretty nice though. I don't love the keycaps. That is like, visually, I'm just not a big fan, but I feel like we can put anything else on this and it's going to look sweet. Now, let's take off one of these keycaps. Actually, you know what? First, let's do a little sound test with this. The knob's nice. Yeah, this is a knob on the corner here. It's actually quite a nice knob. Feels good. All right, let's do a little quick sound test of this guy. So this is stock. We haven't done anything yet. I do like the alphas a lot. The mods are all good. Spacebar is rather sharp. And I wonder if there's just any sort of like tab underneath the spacebar. I have to take a look at the plate itself here. But honestly, it doesn't feel like too bad at all. There's some backlight RGB to this, but it is kind of low. Mainly because I have studio lights on. Yeah, it's a Hall Effect keyboard. It's also a bit foamy. It's most of the Hall Effect stuff I've tried. I still haven't got myself a Hall Effect board that matches the sound profiles that come out of mechanical keyboards, that clacky sound. Most most Hall Effect stuff has been this type of sound profile. Best stock keyboard for the Hall Effect stuff, I'll give this credit. I do like this a lot. I still think the Ducky is a little nicer sound profile right out of the box. Like, if you're just going to buy something, you don't want to tweak anything, I did like the Ducky sound profile a little bit more. My least favorite, believe it or not, I really didn't like the Wooting sound profile. I really hated the Wooting one. The Wooting one, and I've tried 2 Wooting boards now. I did not like the sound profiles out of those. Yeah, stock Wooting is bad. Where's my monitor arm from? It's called the Flow. I got it directly from the company that supplies it to Herman Miller. I didn't buy it through Herman Miller, because through Herman Miller, it's expensive as frick, dude. I did try the OwlLab TIs. I thought they were quite nice. I actually have a set on order. I also got some of those flux switches too. And then I have a few other Hall Effect switches in my cabinet that I picked up recently as well. Like I said, I've been going down a rabbit hole of Hall Effect stuff. Actually, what else is in this box here? Yeah, in sound profile, I agree with Ad here. Like, I'm not trying to diminish this, but it's definitely not as important while you're playing video games. Like, I don't give a shit what my keyboard sounds like when I'm playing Tarkov. Herman, thank you so much for 2 tier 1s, man. Ooh. I don't love this part. I mean, this you won't even see, but it's actually a really nice stock cable. That is quite nice. It's kind of rare that we get, like, decent stock cables. Oh, that is really nice, actually. We get some extra keys here. Some extra feet, I assume? Or I guess these are taller feet if you want to change the angle.
Hi, Alex.
And some switches.
Hope you're well. Just want to share a positive message. Sometimes, we get so caught up in our hobbies they feel like they bog you down.
That's
I
true.
took a break from my love for mechanical keyboards, and it was the best thing for my mind.
Sometimes
Stepping
that's
back
true.
allowed me to recharge, focus on other important areas of
Yes,
my
sir.
life, and come back with a healthier, balanced mindset. It's okay to take breaks and helped me rediscover the joy I have for my hobbies. Might be a
Yes.
corny message, but a huge game changer.
Actually, I really think that's important to say too. But moderation is the key to everything, man. Like, when I can't stress that enough. You can't just. I've thrown myself into hobbies, and I've thrown myself into work, and I've thrown myself into, like, you know, what starts off as a passion, but you really have to take things in moderation. Even video games, like, dude, years ago I got burnt the F out on video games, dude. And there was a point in my life where I just didn't want to touch a video game. Like, the most I did was sort of played TFT. now that I'm kind of rediscovering that I'm enjoying it again as, you know, like a pastime, if I do play Tarkov, it's like I play maybe a match or two and then back out. You know, like I just leave the computer. I don't go crazy with it. And I find myself enjoying video games more. Even with keyboards, I'm surrounded by keyboards all the time. I was getting burnt out on keyboards. And Zev, just like you, I almost felt like I needed to take a step back. But then I realized it wasn't so much that I needed to take a step back from keyboards. It was just I needed to figure out my pacing. That was it. Pacing is huge. But I'm so glad, Zev. That is huge, man, that you've kind of rediscovered your joy for hobbies in general, you know? And these are the switches. So these are the key-in switches that they put. I believe. Let me triple check. Do they have a picture of what the switches look like? Yeah, these are it. These are nice. These are actually really nice. Very, very nice switches. Huh. Are they selling these separately? I love the way these feel. These are like... I wish I had the Owlab TI stabs in right now. Who's the menu? That's a great question. It just says Raisha on these. I'm not too sure if that's a manufacturer in the Hall effect space. Let's find out. Raisha. Oh, that is not keyboard switches. Let's see. What else have they produced? They are. These are nice. Damn. These just have a nice like overall feel. Like they're clearly stock lubricated. Actually, I'd be keen to open one up to see how well the stock lubrication actually is on these. This is a Kale side. This is their own switch. It's self-developed according to them, which is called the Keon switch. Okay, so there's a minimal amount of lube on this. Very, very small. I don't know if even my camera will be able to pick this up, but I'll try my best to show you guys. It's just on the slider. Again, I don't think my camera's going to be able to really do this justice. Right there, you guys can kind of see it. A little bit of lubricant. Interesting. Then they have... Interesting. They have the magnet on a separate piece underneath the stem over here. Interesting. And that just rests on top of the spring, it looks like? Yeah, it rests on top of the spring. Cool. Very, very interesting. Oops. Camera keeps... Yeah, it's a Hall effect switch. I really like the spring feeling on these too. Do they have like a deeper dive on the specs of this particular switch? Let me go find out. For a different bottom out sound maybe? Perhaps. Nice. In comparison, I'll just grab some other Hall effect stuff that I have. 1 second. I have it literally right over here. These are the Dash HE switches. So these guys, these are Dash HE, and I'll open up a set of these for you guys to look at too. So you can see the magnet on these is just part of the physical stem. Which is interesting, right? Very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very neat. I really like these. These sound really nice. All right, I guess in practice now we have to see how these feel. But now, before we start taking this apart a little bit and changing out some items here, I do want to take a look at the software, which is going to be the big important thing for me here. By the way, I'm actually going to do a full write-up on this board too. just because I really have been enjoying doing those and like stuff that I want to learn more about as well. So I'll be doing a full write-up after I probably use it for a few days. Oh, actually, let's see that mounting system as well, how that changes when we do it. So right now it's on... Oh, wow, that is very... Huh, that is actually kind of cool. No, it should be 4K, but you might have to reload the page. And then when we switch it, this is the stiff one now. Oh yeah, look at that. It actually works. Oh, that is a very big difference. That is so cool. Yeah, a little bit. It does change the sound profile. Let's go back and forth here. A little bit. It's not huge. It's like slightly there. I can kind of hear it. Freddie, of course. Everyone's been saying such kind things about those shorts and how they want me to do more quick sound tests like that, so 100%. I don't know what I like more on this. I do like being given an option, though, if you want it to be a softer keyboard or a firmer keyboard. That is a cool feature. If DrunkDeer did a case like this with that feature on the bottom that allows you to quickly switch between mounting styles, that would be absolutely insane. This is so cool. No, it's an aluminum chassis. Just some stuff's coated in different coatings over here. Interesting. And now let's take a closer look at these keycaps too. So they're PBT as far as I know. Let's triple check the bottom, or the page here. And what's the thickness of these? They do look a little bit thinner. We're looking at a 1mm thick keycap. So definitely not the thickest I've seen, but they look pretty good quality. Yes, we will be taking a look at that 2444. But it does sound interesting. I think that's the word. Yeah, I wonder too if we swap to something like ABS like I normally would use, because that's what I end up doing for all my keyboards. Oh, they have like a dampener over here. Do you guys see this underneath the spacebar? This is actually super popular. I see so many people do these things nowadays. The dampener. I wonder if we remove that, if that opens up the sound profile a bit. Well, the thing is with foam and Hall effect, unfortunately, guys, you kind of do need to sort of have it in some cases. Oh, that sounds so much better. I mean, I liked this more without the giant silicone dampeners underneath. I like that these are quickly removable, though. That is kind of nice. A little bit, I mean, probably the PBT. That's why we're going to switch to ABS. One thing I will say is the stabs are not the best. I can hear a little bit of rattle. Are these plate mounted? They are plate mounted. It does look like I can see a lot of kind of lube oozing out on one of the sides. Definitely not the best stabs I've tried in the Hall effect board so far. I would say, like, in terms of ratings, the Boog and the Ducky had the best stabilizers so far. The Wooting was okay, and I would say this kind of lands a little bit below the Wooting for stabilizers. Not the end of the world, though. This is quite an easy fix. If you have a syringe of lube, I don't even know where mine is. Syringe of lube, pretty easy fix. Also, again, I feel like I need to say this all the time. Guys, there's nothing wrong with plate-mounted stabs. I feel like people have been like indoctrinated to hate plate-mounted stabs. There's nothing wrong with them. There's a little bit of wobble with these though, so I think some tighter tolerances around the plate. You might also have to band-aid mod these. And when I say band-aid mod, usually you're just kind of adding a layer of something around the plate. But yeah, there's usually nothing wrong with stabs, like plate-mounted stabs. People kind of give it a bad name for no reason, dude. Do you know the manufacturer made the stabs for the Ducky? I recently built a friend's Ducky board and was quite surprised pleasantly with how the stabilizer performed. Do you know what manufacturer? No, I don't. But I have to give Ducky credit. They do excellent stabs. I've done a few Ducky keyboards and their stabs have been great across the board. All right, now, here's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna put some ABS keycaps on and then we're gonna take a look at the software. Actually, this is a nitpick, but I feel like this type of typeface is fun, but I think on a stock product, I would suggest going for something a little bit more neutral and not as crazy. I don't absolutely think this is like the best. Yeah, like I think like a normal typeface would have been nicer, like a more standard, more timeless one. Personal preference. We'll take it apart too. We'll do a whole bunch of things. There's not going to be much though that we're going to like. We can't really do much when we take it apart though. Just as an FYI, guys. There's like a little breakdown of the board that they kind of showed already on their website, and I've seen other people take it apart. And other than to show that like giant pad thing with the springs on the side, there's not a whole hell of a lot that we can see on the inside of the board or do. It would just be to kind of showcase what you can already see on the website. I was so ready to tear this thing apart and see what we can do, but there wasn't, like I said, there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff. I wonder if there will be HE switches that sound more similar to regular switches. Some people have argued that some of the switches that have been coming out recently have been very close. But I don't know, I still disagree. I've listened to people's boards, like tons of different modifications. I don't think anything comes quite as close as what we already have for MX stuff. I don't know, again, I've been really liking my HE stuff lately. It's all I use for playing video games. To be teared apart by the mustache man? Excuse me? Huh? I wonder why, if anything, removing the leaf should make the Switch feel and sound better. Removing the leaf should make the Switch... I mean, not really. That extra bit of friction can cause maybe a different sound, and even the way that like a piece of metal would sound inside a Switch might reflect sound differently too. You know what I mean? Maybe even the idea of having the leaf contact each other adds a certain sound signature to the Switch. You know? Gets rid of the ticking. I would also argue that not every Switch has ticking issues. I feel like that's only really badly produced Switches, which thankfully we haven't had to deal with in a very, very long time, so. Yes, this is hot swap, so if we wanted to, I should have said that too. We can just take these out and pop a different Switch inside. I do kind of want to see what happens if we open it. We shall see though. My only concern is I believe 2 of the screws are underneath this, which might make it a little bit difficult to kind of get to things. So we shall see. I did also read some comments about this being a little bit tricky to tear apart, which I do view as a bit of an annoyance. I know this is still all hot swap, but if someone did want to go inside here and maybe like take out a piece of foam, then, you know, they should be able to. But I don't think this keyboard in particular has that kind of level of customization in mind. This is pretty like stock. Should I try HE? I still haven't, is it something I should really think of trying? If you're into keyboards and you're into gaming and want to try something like this, I mean, IMO, yeah, I'd say it's worth trying. I was so resilient to try it at first, Real Scrubs. I already knew it would be a very key player in the keyboard space, but I was so resilient to try it, and when I did, I was very glad. All right. Now, what keycap should I use? What do we use today? Avo, that's a really good use case for it as well. Dual shot could be fun. I'm actually down for dual shot. That is a hexagon knob, yeah. I kind of like it though, it's kind of cool. Dual shot? Are we doing dual shot today? I feel like that's a great choice actually. Mars Cadet? Ooh, Mars Cadet would be kind of nice on this too, actually. You know what? Hold on. Mars Cadet, guys? You're right, you're right. Mars Cadet would look fire on this. Where do we get Mars Cadet? Hello? Dual shot is so boring. I said it. Damn. Really, Florence? I feel like we've taken a little break from it. Does the gray look good? Like, is this going to be too much gray though? Is that my concern now? Like this particular gray? Actually, no. I think that'll look good. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like, anyways. People like MX for a lot of reasons, HE for the responsiveness, and EC for the texture and tactility, but what do people like for Alps? I think that's a very much like a very particular feeling for Alps. Damn, I really like these switches. I might want to see if I can grab a batch of these switches on its own, or I'd hate to do this, but maybe I take these switches out to try them on other boards. These are really nice. Like, these feel fantastic. I can already tell you there's like two things that I very much like this keyboard for already. I do think this kind of stands out just because of even these two things. This is a Hall effect board, yeah. We might have in it. It's okay. It's a nice set. I like it. I'm biased though. How's the knob? It feels good and it has a nice press. My order of unlubed MX2As and TX films just shipped. I'm excited to try them. Enjoy the lubing process. It's fun. Ooh. I just picked up this set from NK last week. It's a great set, dude. Oops. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I actually have a few things we're going to show off after I'm done this as well. There's Alex again, gaslighting his community that filming and lubing is an enjoyable activity. Listen here, man. It is. If you can watch a TV show while you're doing it or have a friend talk to you, it can be. If you're doing it, guys, okay, realistically, if you guys are lubing switches in pure silence, just sitting there in the room, like not listening to anything, no music, nothing, then yeah, that's a little bit like torture, I'd say. But what's a friend? Can't be helped. Okay, you know what, guys? Going back to just building this keyboard up. I've reached that point with lubing switches where I can do both. Watch something and lube. Alex, what would you say? What would you say should be my first 60%? A Lily when the R2 releases, or an Orbit? Fuck, those are both good keyboards, man. I like the Lily a slight bit more. I think Resident means not the Orbit, the other one from Rabbit. Isn't there a 60 from Rabbit? I have a feeling I know what Resident means. The Cloud 9, yeah. I think the Lily, sound-wise, is very much my thing. So, but both of them are absolutely fantastic. Don't worry, you don't have to worry, Resident. I already knew what you meant. You're all good, my friend. All good. All right, now let's put our bottom row on. Lily R2 might even happen before Cloud9 or Cloud9 R2. Yeah, maybe. Skyval, how you doing? Looking great. The keyboard or me? Or both? Nah, you guys are all looking great, please. Both? Damn, dude. Always both? Too kind, too kind. Alright, so now I need arrow keys, which are... So nice. Here.
What's up, everyone? Long
Hi,
time
Rob.
no see.
Has
Hope
been a while,
everyone
man.
has been good.
I've been okay. I've been, honestly, mainly just been working, man. Like, working, I'm trying to get a few things sorted around here. You know. Honestly, just taking it day by day, bro. How about you? It does look good with the mouse, huh? We'll move these off to the side, too. I'll put these in, like, the bag. What other ones do I want? What else do I want to put here? So I put deletes. We'll rebind some of these anyways. I usually do that when I'm building these types of boards. Where's my function key? Here it is. Cool. Was laid off for a bit, but I'm back to work now, thankfully. I am very grateful for that as well, man. Very, very grateful. Has the new job been treating you well? I'm going to tune up this stab. I don't love the way this stab has been lubed. So maybe that's one of the small weak points about this, is the stock stabilizers definitely need some work.
Hey Alex, took a break after my exams but finally back enjoying streams again.
Dude, what's up, NCF? Yeah, dude, all of us need a break sometimes, man. Cool. So much better now. Alright, so the spacebar is still a little bit... I mean, maybe we should put these back in and see what it sounds like now. These little spacebar silicone pieces. Yeah, 205 to the syringe. It's a bit hollow, the spacebar. Again, I'm not expecting anything too crazy. We'll put these back in because these came in it. I just took them out. I do like the way it looks a lot. This is a beautiful looking keyboard this way. And then is going to be the most important part about this whole process, which is taking a look at the software. They have a web-based piece of software, which we'll take a look at here in a moment, but let's plug these in. And then let's go back to our notepad here. I would even say this is pretty close to what it sounded like with the other keycaps. I wouldn't say this is like crazy different. Maybe a little bit brighter. But let's put back these silicone pieces. I do, again, like that these are removable quickly. Oh, okay. So that's pretty nice with the ABS spacebar, the GMK spacebar. With the silicone back in. I think I prefer it with the silicone in for the ABS. The alphas are really nice. Yeah, the mods definitely need some tweaking here. Dude, I love the way this feels. This is, again, a very difficult thing to portray. But the fact that this is so bouncy, like, it is a nice feeling keyboard. It is a loud spacebar. I think, again, with the way this keyboard works, I would have liked maybe a better way to go in and mod the keyboard, but it's 8K polling as well. Yeah, we'll go through the PCB specs here in a second. This is with the stiff one now, so now it's not going to move at all. Not bad, not bad. I do like this. Cool. Now, the more important part. Yes, okay, sound-wise, I don't think this is the best stock sound I've seen out of a keyboard. Again, I'm going to give that to Ducky still. I think Ducky wins. Hands down, Ducky wins for me. There hasn't been a board that sounds as good as the one that Ducky made out of the box. I would say this is like... I like the Boog a little bit. But I think the Boog was a little nicer than this one. The Boog was definitely more foamy sounding and wasn't as like harsh. This is a bit more harsh. I would say, like, out of all the ones I've tried that comes stock, I'm not saying ones you have to mod yourself. This is probably like third place when it comes to sound. Feeling wise, I don't think any keyboard has done it better than this though. Right away, I can already tell I'm in love with the way this feels when you have the suspension system on the bouncy style. Fantastic. I don't think I've even come close to a keyboard in the Hall effect. I mean, dude, even outside of just the Hall effect scene, this is such a cool mechanism and definitely the star of the show for this board. Like, this is nice and soft. I really like this without being like mushy. You know what I mean? Really, really like this. And now we get to see the software, which is the most important part for me. WebDriver. I'll share screen once I just make sure there's no like weird personal information. Oh goodness. All right, so let's share the screen here. Oh, here, let me adjust the screen a little bit because it's a little cut off right now. Oops. Window capture. All right, so here is the web-based software. So Ducky does have the new induction ones. We have rapid trigger mode. So this says triggered once pressed, reset once released. And I've heard the rapid trigger here was pretty short, so which is really nice. I actually like leaving that on. Dual trigger, what does this say? Customize these actions. Okay, so that I'll have to experiment with. With last win mode, keyboard prioritizes your last keystroke. Oh, nice. The turbo mode, once activated, any keystroke will be tracked and multiple keystrokes can be tracked simultaneously. Oh no, sorry, that was the keyboard tracking. Turbo mode can significantly minimize input latency. Once activated, the lighting effect will become static. See, that is something I'd probably also have. This is an 8K polling rate PCB. It's not wireless, so this is wired only. Again, might as well just at that point there keep it on. But keep in mind, a lot of people tend to forget about this. To a certain degree, 8K polling rate does affect performance on your computer slightly. So just keep that in mind before you go ahead and be like, this is the best thing ever. This has profiles, something we didn't see in the Ducky keyboard recently that we took a look at. Profiles are nice. Having profiles, fantastic. Love that. Does look like we even have lighting groups or just groups the way we can modify things, which is fantastic. So we can even just add groups here. That is super, super cool. Yeah, very, very awesome. So we can have groups of things. Do the groups, are they limited to 2 keys only? It does look like they're limited to 2 keys. I mean, that's still really nice. So there's some semblance of cool things here for software. Firmware download over there. Please save let's save this to keyboard, sure. We have remapping. But in terms of performance, this seems to be everything we have right over here. And then we have some RGB stuff, which... me personally, I don't really give a shit about RGB stuff, but it's there. I mean, you guys have most of the RGB things that we've seen on like basically every single keyboard. So software seems like it has enough of what, let's leave it on dark mode. Enough of what I'd want. It's not super crazy like the Wooting stuff. Like Wooting definitely has more to the software than this does. So you can also set your actuation point per key. And then it says right on the key too. A little hard to read. But we do have per key actuation points. We have rapid trigger mode, dual trigger. Again, here's all the software for that over here. This is actually something I'd probably be very interested in trying. There's a few things when I'm playing Tarkov that I think I could bind this to, And then we have the last win mode, which prioritizes your last keystroke, which again, we have some grouping that we can do for that as well. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So the Wooting one has a little bit more to it, obviously. This is definitely a huge step above what Ducky was offering, but not quite as diverse as the Wooting software. But again, I don't really think, actually here, I gotta bring this down. I don't really think anything comes close to the Wooting software. I also want to just make a note that I am like not an expert when it comes to all the different features for these types of softwares. Like I utilize the bare minimum, and for me playing games, this is actually quite nice to have. I think the main thing for me, like I love the Ducky keyboard, is I was just missing profiles. Profiles are here. Seems like we got a bunch of stuff that we can play around with as well. But I personally haven't utilized even when I have the Wooting like on my desk, like I don't really utilize all the software. And I probably could. I just haven't found a need to do it yet. Do you notice the difference when using an HE board while gaming? Yes. Huge, huge difference. It's like the input latency is different. Just being able to change things. Like I have this habit where I lean into my keyboard. Like when I'm typing, I type with my back against my chair. Whatever reason I'm playing games, I'm like leaned in. And when I lean in, I tend to put a lot of pressure on my thumb. And I've noticed with a lot of my keyboards, I tend to accidentally trigger this a lot. So what I usually do is I go into the spacebar and change up the sensitivity basically. So yeah, I'm just locked in for gaming. And then for certain other keys too, like when I do lean into, I notice like my WASD, I need to be a little bit more less sensitive than other keys. But then things like shift, I like having shift as a very sensitive key because it's bound to like usually what I click with my pinky. So I just want to activate that like ASAP just to keep going, This is about $200, which I would say like in the gaming world is on a little bit of the high side, definitely. But I think for the quality of what you're getting here and just I wouldn't even say novelty, I do like the feature. Really odd name. Oh, the keyboard name? Okay, so the next thing is how does this set itself apart from the competition type thing? Right away, Remember I mentioned there's two things where I think this really like shows its strengths. I would say, to go in order, some things I don't like about the keyboard right away. The stock stabilizers need some work. I don't think I love those. I would like an easier way to open up this keyboard. Right now, it doesn't seem like there is a very clear-cut way without having to peel back some of these feet, which I'm worried I'll never get these back on. There doesn't seem to be a clear-cut way to open this guy up. I think that's a huge negative for me. Maybe not for you guys, but for me, being able to open something up and then tweaking stuff is a huge deal. I like being able to open it up. I also like being able to like check something if I need to repair. You know, you can kind of argue the right to repair kind of gets limited with this. I would assume that opening this up also probably voids any sort of warranty, even though, you know, that's kind of a no-no in a lot of places in the world. But that's like two things I already don't like about the board. I would love for the front height to be a slight bit lower, but I'm not like overly upset about that. Now, some stuff I like about the board, not love, but like about the board. I like the overall theme. I actually think it's kind of cool. I think they did a pretty good job. I also really appreciate how easy this is to just switch back and forth for their modes of bounciness. Maybe this is a bit tacky, and maybe the DrunkDeer on the front is a bit tacky, but it's not terrible. Like, it's not ugly. The side profile's cool on the board, too. Oh, here. I'm kind of blocking this with all the stuff here. Let me take this out. Kind of blocking this right now, but it's okay. We'll go over some stuff again. There's the back of the keyboard again. It's a cool-looking side profile. Like, it's a cool-looking case. I don't think this is aesthetically, like, tacky or anything. I really don't think this is tacky. I would have said right away if this was tacky, but I don't think so. And again, here's that little switch toggle for going between the suspension mounts. And then for stuff that's good, but not like the best, software. The software is good. I don't think the software is the best out of all the software. I think it's just enough for the average person to use. Like, just enough. You know? It's not the best. There could be more functionality. I feel like software is something that can always be built upon, which is fantastic. But I always like to say, like, when it comes to these Hall effect boards, I kind of have to look at it what it is now, and the software is just okay. Again, I also heard some good stuff now, some like really good stuff. I don't have a great way to measure this right now, but I've heard from some friends who've also taken a look at the board, and I've heard from some other reviewers that the input latency for this is, like, the response time is fantastic. That is something that I guess I'll kind of get a grasp for as I play some video games. It almost might not even be noticeable, but I've heard that this kind of rivals some of like the better keyboards on the market for response time, which is fantastic. In terms of like raw numbers, I don't want to repeat what they said just because I don't know how true some of those things are, but again, just for the sake of speaking, I've heard it's really good. The polling rate 8K, again, hit and miss. I don't know, man. Like, have you guys used 8K for keyboards? I've tried. I prefer the 8K polling rate on the keyboards versus the mice, but it is what it is. Like, I can kind of see some use case when it comes to the keyboard. For the mouse, though, I always turn off 8K. I don't notice a difference, and then I also feel like the battery life is piss poor on the mice. So for the keyboard, though, I don't mind leaving it on. Not even on my mice, to be honest. Yeah, I typically... 8K is way overrated. Yeah, I typically leave it on 1 or 2K. Max 2K. I'm in the wrong demographic of games. I feel like if you're playing OSU or something that needs like every fraction of, you know, a second when it comes to getting your inputs in. Some other really nice things. Great stock cable in the box. I don't say this lightly. I think the stock cable that they give you in the box is actually really nice. I'll show that over again. I kind of feel like some brands would almost charge you like $30 or $40 for this type of cable, but it's a really nice braided cable. Yeah, that is quite a nice cable. So kind of nice to see there. Some extra little keycaps, few switches extra in the box too. The big selling point on this though, like again, the two things that I think are really, really, really nice on this, the switches. I can already tell you guys, just typing on these from like, once or twice here, dude, these feel great. I really like these switches. They're developed by them apparently. So this is done by DrunkDeer. Yeah, these switches feel fantastic. I gotta play some games with this and really give this like its long haul review, because that'll be part of my written review for this. Yeah, these feel really good. And then the other big thing, like we showed off earlier, this feature of being able to kind of pop this down and you have a stiffer keyboard, or sorry, is down, let's see actually. Down is the looser keyboard, so the more bouncy one. This whole feature, this is nice. This is so nice. And then just quickly flipping this over again, and then suddenly you have a stiffer keyboard. I think that is like I don't even think this is gimmicky. I actually think this is really, really nice. You know why I think this is really nice? Because I already knew about this particular feature going in, and I thought to myself, like, why would this be a good selling feature? You don't have to open up the keyboard to change out like a mounting point, or you don't have to like fiddle with things. Being able to just change that with the slide of a little piece of, material here. I don't know what this is, if it's plastic or aluminum. Is so handy. Again, Asus did this too. And I really like that about the Asus keyboard. But the keyboard was overpriced. At $200, I think you're getting some good stuff here for a fully assembled stock keyboard. I think this is like pretty damn good for what you're getting inside the box. Definitely errs on the side of premium. The other thing I really like about this keyboard too is the layout. I got to admit, exploded arrow keys, my favorite type of 75%. I really like the layout on this. I don't think I've seen too many Hall Effect keyboards with this particular layout. Now I don't remember. I've used the Boog like 1,000 times. I just don't remember now. Was the Boog exploded? Boog keyboard. No, I don't think the Boog was exploded, right? It was like normal. No, it wasn't exploded. Yeah, this is nice. I'm just glad it doesn't lose a key on the nav column if it has to be exploded. Yeah, I agree. I don't really like how high the USB connector is. I mean, ideally, I would have also liked the USB to be centered, but how are the chill key HE boards? I mean, great question that you asked. I've also been slightly reviewing that as well. Here, I'll pull it out. So, I haven't gamed too much on this. The Chilkey one was really good too. I also thought the Chilkey 75 felt very premium. A lot more foamy sounding. I don't love the stock switches in this. So I think I've done about 10 hours of gaming on this board. And then the other thing I didn't really love about this either, was the aesthetics. I don't really care for the aesthetics of this board. Like, it feels like, for lack of a better word, like I feel like the Chilkey 75 visually was a bit cheap looking. It's all right. Like, it's nothing special. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of spoiled as well, but I do like the cherry lip on the front. The software that they have is pretty good. Again, I feel like it's on par with just about everything else that's come out. Performance-wise, it feels good. I've heard some people say that the Chilkey is very good performance-wise. The only downside is I've heard some QC issues with this board. So I've read on their Discord about some QC stuff. That is like maybe the only thing I can really criticize you on that. But yeah, visually it's just not my thing, and I think that's also like important for me. Like, I have to like the keyboard, but I just don't love it. I think the badge is a bit awkward. Like, it's very specific. It's all right. I also would love to see that too, Rob. I would love to see, going forward from any brand, I would like to see some customizability. I think if you're aiming for that, though, you're probably going to end up going with, actually, does the Venom even have that?
Hey yo, what's good?
Hey, how you doing, Shortly? Thank you so much for the tier 3. The Venom should have it, I believe. Because I know we built the Ligera with it. As a PCB for... Oh, here, yes, 7U and 6.25U. Yeah, I would like to see that in the future. But I mean, not to spoil anything, there's already been a few keyboards that have hybrid PCBs that we've been seeing. The hybrid PCBs are super, super dope. Where you can go MX or Hall effect. So, I can't wait to see more of those. Did you finish Andor? Of course I did. It was so good, man. The new Wooting supporting split spacebar is pretty neat. Yeah. Well, I have a feeling we're going to see more and more of that in the Hall effect scene. It's just we got to be kind of patient. We really have to be patient, and we'll see more stuff, I feel. I was thinking about getting a Tiger and Venom PCB for a gaming keyb. Might have to look into that more. Yeah, dude. It's a fun route to go down. If you don't want to go down the custom side of things, though, there's some excellent stock stuff in the market. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I thought there was going to be a few things I'd really have to criticize and nail on this board, but the big thing, my big takeaway from this that I hope DrunkDeer listens to, I really hope they create a better way to get inside this case. I know there's probably not a lot that you can do on the inside of this case, but it would be nice to see some of the internals being at least accessible without having to tear apart the keyboard. But I do like it. Where would I put this on all the HE stuff that I've seen so far? I'd like to do some gaming with it, but I think right away, just feeling-wise, I guess if you had to break this down into sound, feel, software, I think it's on par with the norm of stuff. Wooting still is better. Wooting has the better software. So this is kind of in the middle. I'd give this a 6.5, 7 if you have to give it out of 10. Kind of meaningless though. But yeah, kind of on par with the course. Keyboard construction, I don't love the ano on this. It's not high grade like the stuff I'm used to, I guess. It seems pretty good though. It doesn't look cheap at all, which is fantastic. And then I would say, feeling-wise, this is probably the nicest feeling Hall effect board. Right away, I can tell you I love this. I think this is by far the best out of all of them. I don't think anything even comes close to how good this feels. Performance-wise, like I said, I want to test that out, but I've heard really good things, and you can even just browse their website. They have so many interesting tidbits of info there. So, feels like they wanted to do a prequel trilogy, but didn't have enough time to put everything in. One consider Andor plus Rogue One and A New Hope a singular canon piece? Sort of. Kinda. Zany. Oh gosh. What's Zany gonna do? So nice.
I hope one day I'll sleep before midnight like normal humans do. Every day I sleep tomorrow, even yesterday I slept today. Anyways, you've tariffed the bits on your stream, Alex. Anyways, I hope you know what Rickroll is, the song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Did you know that if you ask Rick Astley for his copy of the movie Up, he cannot give it to you as he will never give you up? However, in doing so, he lets you down. Thus, creating the Astley paradox.
Thank you, Zany. The Astley paradox was something I didn't know I need to know. So, now I know. Oh, this keyboard is gorgeous? I think it's really cool looking. I really do. I think this is a fun looking keyboard. I think they nailed it. So nice.
Perchance.
Perchance. Thank you, Zany. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude. But no, I do think they nailed the aesthetics on this keyboard. I don't like their stock keycaps visually, but some people might. But I don't think you absolutely need to go with a set of GMK. I think the stock ones sounded fine. They were pretty good quality. Not as thick as I'd like it. but pretty good quality overall. So very, very nice. Very nice. I have to give it to DrunkDeer. I quite like this. I think alone, their use of this mounting system, which again, if you guys want to see what that looks like, just because there's no good way to open this board without it be tearing things apart, and I still need to take some photos of it. Kind of show you guys the mounting system. So it's this basically. It's this kind of sheet with springs. And you get a suspension mounting system where the PCB lies on top. There's the foam and the plate. But, that's a great question. Is the knob replaceable? Is there a way I can unscrew this or? I don't know. Does this come off? I don't want to ruin anything right now. Like I don't feel like breaking it just because I still have to take some photos of this, but. Oh yeah, okay, it's a standard. I guess this is what it looks like. I'll show you guys on the side over here. Looks like this. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'll just hide this screen. Looks like you could replace it with any old knob you want. Oh gosh. I have, I think, a few knobs that would fit this, but this is a cool aluminum knob. I don't hate this at all. This is kind of nice. Bye, Derbs. Tomorrow we should be streaming, yes. We indeed should be streaming. But yeah, overall, any more colors? I think there's only 2 colors in this. I don't know what they're calling each one, but Ignite or... I don't know how to pronounce this, but that's the one we got, was this one here. And then the Ignite one is like a black and red, which I think this one looks really sweet. It's a cool contrast. But I got to admit, if you kind of want the simple one that goes with just about anything, Tourmaline is probably the nicer color to go with. Overall, pretty cool, dude. I like this. I didn't know what to think going in. I just knew that I was interested in the board, and overall, I'm very pleased. It's not perfect, though. Just like with anything, I feel like there's stuff you can always criticize, but... Who redeemed a compliment? Juan, dude. Juan, it's been a while, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. I love you, buddy. If I could right now, man, I'd share a hot cup of coffee with you. All right? Unless you want a cold cup of coffee, then we'll get some iced coffee or something. But love you, buddy, and I hope things have been going absolutely well. You're a gem, bro. You're a gem. Ice brew for sure. Cool, though. Very cool. Let's do a little 360 of the board one more time here. You sold your wired IEMs? I just don't use them much anymore. So cool. I love this mounting style. In case you guys want to see what the mounting style looks like from the side too, when you put pressure, it compresses. So cool, dude. At this point, I think it's worth waiting for something that will be perfect for me in the future. Absolutely. That's the only thing you really can do, is like just keep a lookout for things that would suit your needs. Tried this keyboard out at a meetup. It was pretty unique. I am blown away by this mounting style. Like, I am like... Yeah, dude, KB, I am like very much loving this right now. You know, if DrunkDeer ever wants to put this tech, whatever they want to call it, their mounting system in an MX build, and then have it be a little bit more customizable where you can open it up and, you know, build things yourself, that would be super, super fun. I would be first in line to try that out, because this is so cool. Damn. Probably not a great board if you want to decompress. Scrubs, is that a joke about the... I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh my gosh. Got as much flex as my 2K. Yeah. It's my 2K is flexy, but this is way flexier. I got it real. I got it, Scrubs. All right, so next up, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing this for the next few days. Probably going to put a solid amount of hours into making sure the ins and outs on this, and even just testing the software in the long run. I'm going to kind of match what I have right now on this board with my last board. And then I will do a little bit of a write-up here. Well, a pretty extensive write-up, because I'm also going to do like a bit of a teardown once I'm done all the photos and whatnot. And then I guess I'll have a long-term review after this. Probably be in about a week. But dude, this is really nice. DrunkDeer, I think, has something unique on the market, albeit not perfect. But I think there's enough here to be like, yes, based off of a few different things, well worth a pickup. Well worth it, dude. Do I have GMK Cluck? No. How's the firmware? The software, you mean? Or the firmware? The firmware, I'd have to, like, obviously test in the long run, but the software seemed pretty good. Like, wasn't as diverse as the Wooting stuff, but it was good enough for what it is. Way better than the Ducky software, I'll tell you that much. The Ducky software was lackluster. There's not much in it. But this has a lot more. Will you be doing the same thing with the Obsidian tech? Or, sorry, will you be doing the thing with Obsidian tech? I hope so. I hope. Actually, there's one other thing I wanted to show you guys. One other thing. I will be building this soon. I'm so excited to build this. Well, here's the thing. Ducky software said they weren't finished. My gripe, and dude, the Ducky keyboard was fantastic. But Ducky released the board and they sold the board with unfinished software. Unfinished. Beta software. It's just one of those things where it's like you're buying on a promise. And I hate that. Like, I prefer to be like, if I'm getting the board today, I don't want to be like, promised something and then it doesn't change in the future, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was my shortcoming with Ducky, I guess, is like we have to wait. They did say, like they did recently contact me saying, like, yeah, it's ready to be released soon. So I'm going to be briefed on that, I guess, and then maybe we can kind of update the article I wrote about it. But again, it's just one of those things where it's like down the road, sure. I don't know. We'll see. See, this as its own right now. Like, this is a pretty solid package. And yeah, we're gonna be playing with this soon. This is the Geist Ada. This is one of the boards I couldn't help myself. I need to pick it up. It is so pretty, dude. So pretty. Oh, I'm so excited, man. I don't want to open it just yet, but actually maybe I should. No, we'll wait. I've been pronouncing it Ada, but it could be Ada. I'm not too sure. Navita, I worked out a little something with Geist, but I told you I really wanted this board. It came in like a nice box, but I took it out of the box. I can't wait to build this thing, man. Can't wait. I don't know what I'm going to put inside of it. I haven't decided yet. Maybe milky yellows. I also don't know when we're building it. This week might be a little too busy, so it might be the week after. All right, though, guys. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go run an errand or two. And then call it a Prince of Dubai. What are these keycaps? This is Mars Cadet. Hi, R&D. How you doing, man? What's up, bro? If you guys haven't checked out R&D KBD, fantastic vendor. Been a while? It has been. Yeah, it's definitely been a while. Thank you for the great stream. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was like a fun look at something different. I know it's not a standard mechanical keyboard like we're used to, but still fun to spend some time on something new. Like I said, I've been into the Hall Effect stuff. I really hope they do an MX board with this. That'd be so cool. I'm doing the 21XX in June. You want one? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I'd love to take a look at one of those. Those are super cool. I don't know if they've already contacted. I'll talk to you about that, R&D. I don't know if someone already contacted me about that, but I want a 75 with this many keys, but they're hard to find. Oh, like this kind of layout? Yeah, I agree. There's some on the market with the exploded stuff, but nothing super great. Bye, Rob. Take care, man. Alex is already scheduled to look at the 21XX. Yeah. I'm not too sure who's... I have to double check. I'll talk to R&D KBD about that, but I'm not too sure who I'm supposed to, like, my point of contact is anymore, because no one's really said anything to me since, so. And the bezels? I mean, this might be a fun pickup for you then. Am I going to be looking at the final mouse centerpiece? Honestly, they said I was supposed to look at it, but I have no clue. I don't know is the answer. It'd be really cool to look at it, but I really don't know. I think maybe I'll try to bother them about it, but beats me. Beats me, dude. Okay, let's go find someone to raid. Thanks again to DrunkDeer for letting us take a look at this too. This is super neat. Oops. Let us go. Oh, not a whole lot of people on right now. Mango Keebs is on though. Let's go raid Mango. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll post the schedule here in a bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys. See you very, very soon. And yeah, talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Later. Love you.